By the way, I mean, thank you for the topic for this one, because I had a very long overnight at work and came home, and I've been watching Portmanteau horror films since I came home.
Oh, fantastic! That's a good.
It's been great fun. I've got to say, it's been amazing fun. A lot of these films, like, I haven't seen them since I was maybe a teenager, maybe even earlier than that. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean they are there. I love them. Obviously, I mean otherwise I wouldn't have suggested it to talk
Yeah,
about.
right, right.
I I had an idea in my mind a few
Hmm.
years ago, quite a few years ago now. That I thought, you know what? Because I've always wanted to write a film book,
Yeah.
just something that I wanted to do since I was a teenager.
Hmm.
The first thing I ever tried writing was a book on the other topic that I could have suggested to talk to you about tonight, which is Twin Peaks. Which
Oh, I mean, yes. I mean, 100 times yes. But I tell you what, if we did that, a lot of my other podcast fellows would be very jealous.
oh really? Okay.
They would want to get in on that. I'm telling you. I mean, did you watch The Return?
Oh yes,
Bloody hell!
yes. I've watched The Return twice now.
Oh my god! I mean, I don't know how the man does it. I
I know.
sincerely don't. He's like someone who stepped through some Mandela effect from some other universe, isn't he? You
Yeah,
know.
that's entirely appropriate. Yes,
Well, yes. Given the subject, yes.
I don't think there's ever been an appropriate way to describe Lynch. The man was just different to anybody else
Yeah.
whose work I've ever seen.
That he does things with like the format of television in that show that
Absolutely.
it's so far beyond what anyone else is even attempting. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know how he gets away with it. You know how he kept getting away with it.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that's part of the reason why we had to wait 25 years for a follow up.
Yes. That and the fact that like he only came back because they basically said, "Well, we'll do it without you," and he said, "No, you bloody won't."
I tried to explain this to my partner
Mhm.
relatively recently that because she's never seen Twin Peaks,
Oh,
she's some of it now.
how do you even? It's one of those pieces of work, isn't it, where you're like you go to someone who's never seen it before and doesn't really doesn't know what it is, and
Mm,
you can't describe it, right? How do you
absolutely.
even begin? I mean, it's a kind of murder mystery, I
Yeah,
suppose, if you want to call it that, with
sort of a
element.
weird murder mystery soap opera.
Yes, American soap opera, sort of 1980s American soap opera with ghosts and magic
Yeah.
and demons
Yeah.
and incest and abuse and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't pitch the incest and abuse angle to her in advance.
No,
Maybe I should do.
that's
No.
probably one to steer clear of, to be honest. But
Yeah, I was telling her about this show, and like, this is my favourite TV show of all time. I love it. I
yes.
watched when it first aired in this country.
Hmm.
Still remember the first time I saw a trailer for it.
Oh wow.
I don't know what I'd been watching, but I had BBC Two on, and the ident came up, and it just came up
Yeah.
with it black screen, and in a town like Twin Peaks, nothing is what it seems. And I'm like, okay, you have my attention. What's that?
Were
And then 90 seconds later, I'm like, well, I'm going to be watching this program.
like forever, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Well, I
and
came
yeah,
to it really late. I mean, like I think I mean, when did it air originally, Steve? What was the year it aired originally?
1990.
19 was it 1990 in the UK? Right. So I was around, but I was very 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 young. I was 6. So yeah, I didn't catch it when it was originally aired, but it's one of those pieces of work that's so in the DNA of everything. It's so
Absolutely.
part of the culture. It's a myth effectively at this
Mhm.
point that I heard it referenced throughout my life. And then when I got to university and started really getting into Lynch, it was like, I've got to watch it. I've got to
Oh, yeah.
watch it. And by that point, there were those brilliant, like really big DVD boxes of the first
Yeah.
2 seasons out. So I got those and I couldn't put it down.
It's a show that I've owned 4 times now on home media.
In different mediums.
Yeah. I got all of the VHS tapes when they
Uh-huh.
first, and then I got the DVD box sets when they came out. And then I
Brilliant.
got the gold box, which was the whole lot when that came out. And then I got the the Blu-ray edition when that came out.
It's worth it, isn't it? I mean, it's epoch making. It's epoch making. It's hard to emphasize how important it is as a piece of work, not just to TV, but like to media.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's referenced all over the place. I mean, video games reference it all the time these days.
Yeah,
all the bloody time.
It's crossed over obviously into the mainstream because it was on The Simpsons. So that's kind of the benchmark, isn't it?
Well, that's the other thing, right? It is one of these weird pieces of media where even if you haven't watched it, you kind of know what it's about.
To an extent, I think if you put a little fella talking weird and a zigzag floor and a horse, people will go, "Well, that's Twin Peaks."
That's Twin Peaks, yeah. Or if you do like some of the lines from it, excuse me, that is a damn fine cup of coffee. Everybody knows, everybody knows what that is.
Don't drink the coffee. You'll never believe it. There was a fish in the percolator. That might be slightly more obscure to people who haven't watched it.
Yeah, that might. His name is Bob.
Yes,
etc.
When I sat Bethany down, my partner, to watch it, start watching it, and I said, right, when we get to the end of this, you need to bear in mind that when I saw it, then had to, at the end of the second season, wait 25 years, a quarter of a century, for anything more. Because we got the film, but the film was not a follow-on in the slightest.
Oh, the A Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah, it's a great movie, but it's not the show.
It's an amazing piece of work, isn't it? But it is very. I mean, when you watch The Return, it's clear that like the Fire Walk with Me universe is the prime universe, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the Rosetta Stone that you need in order to understand what's going on in Return. And in fact, the other series, it's really brilliant the way he brings it together.
When I understand what's going on in The Return, I'll come back to you and I'll tell you.
Well, yes, there's that too. I mean, like, when you say, I mean, like, for everyone out there, guys, when I say understand in reference to Twin Peaks, I mean it like euphemistically.
Very much, yeah, as close as we ever get.
As close as we can get to understanding what's going on, because he deliberately, I mean, he's so brilliant in this regard. I love storytelling like this. He's so ambiguous whilst also being coherent.
Yeah, very much so. It's, I don't know. I could go on that for hours about. Well, so could you apparently.
Yeah, apparently. I tell you what. Shall we put a pin in Twin Peaks?
Let's do that on another episode one day.
Let's come back to this because as I say, I've got my podcast mates that I do Not the Same Log with and Hannibal Digested. They also want to do Twin Peaks at some point. Right. So what I would suggest is we all do it. We just get on and do that together. One of them, Jack, he still has to watch The Return.
Yeah.
So dying to figure out what to hear what he makes of it. I mean, just cannot wait. Cannot wait.
I never have a problem with sitting down and talking Twin Peaks. Never.
Fantastic. But for this episode, guys, as we said, we're gonna be doing. I mean, I love this subject, Steve. I just love it because it's not the kind of thing that people generally ask about, and that makes it interesting.
It's not. It's odd. I find it quite strange because it's been a subgenre of horror for over 100 years.
Donkey's years. I mean, it's like. And not only that, it's really important. I mean, when you look at it historically, particularly with regards to like British horror and horror cinema, it's baked into the DNA of horror. It is so part of our history at this point.
As I'm sure we'll discuss at length shortly, there is a British horror studio who made their name on this.
Right, and. There was a time. I mean, I was born in the 1980s, and so it's sort of towards the tail end of the era, really. But really, from the mid 1960s, right up, arguably until the early 90s, Portmanteau horror was everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a thing, right? It was this subgenre of horror, this form of horror that everyone was doing. And not only that, it's this wonderfully weird, pulpy, slightly like low-rent version of horror, yet that drew so much talent to it.
Oh, the names that have wandered onto the set for a half day's work on these pictures are
just,
genuinely remarkable.
I mean, I was watching Dr. Terror's House of Horror earlier today, and yeah, it is this wonderfully, and this is a theme. This is actually a thing about Portmanteau horror. It's pulpy, it's low rent, it's got this wonderful, it's almost like a comic book feeling about it, or
Mhm.
like pulp magazine feeling
Yeah,
about it. And yet, who have you got wandering onto that bloody train?
yeah.
You've
Well,
got
yes, you've got Cushing and Lee,
you've got Cushing and
all
Lee. You've
of
got
the
Donald, a really young Donald Sutherland.
yeah, one of his first roles, I believe.
I believe so. I mean, my God. By that point, Cushing and Lee were obviously quite well established, so
Yeah.
that must have been quite intimidating.
I believe from what I've read about it, yes. Well, one of them was quite intimidating. I'll
Yes,
let you.
well, I wonder which. I wonder which one that could have been.
And then let's fill up the carriage with Roy Castle and Alan Fluff Freeman because they're doing it this afternoon. Let's
Oh,
get
of
them in.
course, yeah. They're not in demand at all in this era, are they? In the mid-60s. I mean, like, for God's sake, it's insane. And what
But
a lovely framing device as well.
now, so this is a whole topic in its own right. The
Yes.
wraparound stories,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
concept of the wraparound. This is a pet thing of mine. So forgive me if I go on for 90 seconds about this,
Please do.
which
Please
is
do.
the difference between a portmanteau and an anthology,
Yes.
which they're terms that are used interchangeably.
Hmm. Hmm.
In my mind, and I've got no evidence to back this up, but I'm making this thing now because that's it. Portmanteau is a film where the stories are one way or another connected by a wraparound story.
Yes.
So your Amicus movies have all got wraparounds. More recently, something like the VHS movies do
The
to ex.
VHS films, yeah, they've got like both a wraparound. Normally, each entry's got its own wraparound
Yeah,
story, and
yeah,
then they also have the overarching mythology of
yeah.
the whole
It's
series.
loose, but it's there.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
whereas your anthology movies are movies where it's all right, we've had one story and now we're going to go straight into a
Yeah,
second story.
we're going to transition into the next one, right?
So the wraparound in its own right is a topic that could be discussed at
I
length.
love it. I absolutely love
I
it. This is
still
this is a it's a pet love of mine for,
think,
like, in short story collections. I absolutely love it when short story collections do this, where they top and tail, where there's something that binds everything together into a kind of mythology. I absolutely love that to bits.
there's a
That's
couple
the
couple of short story collections by John Llewellyn Probert,
Mhm,
which if you haven't seen them, I highly recommend them. One is called The Faculty of Terror.
mhm.
I can't remember off the top of my head what the other one is. And they're Amicus movies as books.
Right.
They're a wraparound story with short stories in between, and then a twist ending to the wraparound, basically.
Love it. Yeah, it does it for me. It does it for me. I mean, for my first exposure to that, I mean, I will always remember because it's burned into my brain. It's and it may be cliche actually. It's the Books of Blood. It's Barker's Books of Blood. Um, yeah, I'd never seen it before. I was very young when I came to those books. Like, really too fucking young to be reading those fucking books.
Well, you and me
Uh,
both.
yeah, right, right. I mean, and was I double digits? Maybe. It's
I
like,
was, I
yeah,
was, I
shouldn't
was in
be.
double digits, definitely, but
Yeah,
not by much.
shouldn't be reading those bloody books. They're very adult. I'm 40 now, and I'm still not sure I should be reading those bloody books. Um, but yeah, that's when I first encountered it, and it did blow my tiny little mind a little bit because I'd read loads of short story collections before that, but
Mm.
I just never come across that before.
It's something that I love. You don't see it very often, sadly, in
No,
short story collections, but I do love it when an author puts that together, and it feels like a complete book. It's a novel with stories within it.
yes, and there's something very elegant about that, which I really, really adore, especially when they have that wonderful lightness of touch, where it's not sort of oppressive or it's not the overarching thing isn't like undermining the integrity of the individual stories, but it's just there.
Yeah,
That it's so elegant and so beautiful, and it gives you that feeling, that completeness of having read something like a longer form piece of fiction at the end.
yeah, very much so.
It's a brilliant thing and very quite hard to do, actually. It is
I,
quite a
I,
hard thing to manage.
I'm not an author myself.
Right. Well, I mean, like my
I find the magic of story writing to be incomprehensible to me at the best of times.
I mean,
But
my first short story collection, the thing I sort of cut my teeth on, which I was incredibly lucky with, Strange Playgrounds,
mm,
that is that has the same. It has the same structure,
right,
and it's one of those things where it wasn't intended. It just happened. It was like you didn't know it was happening. It just happened, and it felt so right. And I think that's the influence. It's the influence of Barker and the other authors who came later
yeah,
who did it. But yeah, I love it to bits. And in film, I mean, that's the other thing about like this form of horror, right? Portmanteau horror. It was so important, but it's kind of gone.
to an extent, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and it comes and goes. It's
yeah.
come and gone for years, and I'm sure it will make a resurgence again. The
I
the
hope
last,
so. I really
the
hope it
last
like makes a big return.
mm, there's always things being made.
Mhm.
Um, Part of my problem now is because I love the format so much,
Uh-huh.
I'm always searching out new portmanteau that I haven't seen,
Right.
and unfortunately, I'm, I'm trying to get. I'm trying to say this without sounding condescending. I don't think I'm going to be able to. What the upside and the downside of Amazon Prime is that
Uh-huh.
people can basically upload their own films,
Yes.
from what I understand. So that's great if you're, an up and coming filmmaker. You've got a film, you can't get distribution for it, whatever. You've got a
Hmm.
platform. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Unfortunately, that means if you're an up and coming terrible filmmaker and you
Mm.
can't get distribution, you've still got a platform. And I just get a little bit tired and I go, oh look, a new port. No, no, I can't watch that. It's terrible.
No. No.
Uh, but I've still got. This is what I was alluding to earlier on when I
Uh-huh.
thought I might write a book on anthology horror films, and I thought that's quite a nice little discrete topic. I can do that,
Uh-huh.
and I own on disc over 100 portmanteau
Uh-huh.
horror.
This
Uh,
this little discrete subject
Little
where
tiny,
there's
and
there's
that's not.
enough for over 100 DVDs worth
Oh God,
of material.
that's not even half of what's out there.
No. Um,
Um, yeah, there's multiple titles that have never had a decent release that just I've got copies from one place or another,
mhm.
or they're streaming somewhere in the back of beyond.
Yeah, yeah. And there's diamonds out there, aren't there? I mean, there is really interesting,
Yeah,
deviant, transgressive stuff that just doesn't have like a
oh, very much.
platform or a release.
Yeah, there's interesting artwork out there, and there's also interesting pulp out there.
Yeah. Oh, always, always. And it's kind of where pulp flourishes, isn't it? In that like the cracks and the recesses and the
Very
underbelly.
much.
And the internet has, I mean, the various streaming platforms has provided that. I mean, there's. Have you seen some of the stuff that's going on YouTube at the moment in like YouTube culture, where you've got like analog horror and ARGs and stuff like that? It's so, I mean, it's florid and interesting, and I mean, there's like you said, because it's a platform that anybody can upload to. There's a lot of
Yeah.
shit. There's a lot of real crap out there, and AI has made it even worse. Has
I'm
made it a million times worse.
going to start on that topic.
Oh right, yeah, that's a whole other kettle of fish. But the stuff that's good is
Hmm.
really good, and it's
Yeah,
so interesting.
if I took the time to pick through it, then I don't doubt that I would find a lot of quality stuff out there.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a rabbit hole. Yeah, I mean, it
but
is a rabbit hole. I mean, if you went onto YouTube and typed in analog horror,
yeah, I'd be here a week.
bloody hell. And again, there's crap. There's loads of derivative crap out there because again, it's like any form. It's become kind of codified these days. But the stuff that's really good is the effort that's gone into it is unreal. A lot of these people, they're just guys, yeah, they're just people in their bedrooms or just a group of people without any budget at all. 50 pence and half a curly whirly, that's what they've got to spend. And they've made horror that's so inventive and
Hmm.
out there, and they've done that wonderful thing that a lot of horror creators do, which is when they are operating under limitations, they have to utilize atmosphere, yeah,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
suggestion, and it's incredible. I mean, I can't get over it. I mean, the one that really floored me recently, there is this series that someone has done called Angel Hair,
Right.
and it's a kind of standard for an analog horror. You know, it's about a guy who remembers a cartoon from when he was a kid, and he finds a box of videos that his mum taped in the attic of this show. But what got me about it is the fact that it's all there. This show, this cartoon that's reportedly aimed at really young children, has been animated and voiced, and I'm like, this is insane.
Okay, I am making a note of that right now.
Angel Hair, yeah, worth a look. Really worth a look. I was really impressed by it. I couldn't believe it. You know, it's one of those things where I'm like, you did this, you animated this. You know,
it's an interesting point you make about people that really don't have the budget and therefore have to be creative in how they achieve their aims, because that is, if Amicus had a motto, that would be it.
That's it, right?
It would very much be, we haven't got the money, but we do want to try.
Yeah,
and that's how it came about. Amicus didn't have a studio; they had a cabin.
Yeah, it's very clear at times,
and it does show. Buoyed by the success of Hammer, saying, right, we can do this too. Buoyed by the success of Hammer, and also a little bit annoyed at Hammer, from what I understand.
Right, there was a little bit of sort of rivalry going on there, yeah.
Milton Subotsky, who is one half of Amicus, wrote a Frankenstein screenplay in the mid-50s and sent it to Hammer and said, I think you should do this. And had a response back from Carreras, I assume, or somebody at Hammer, saying, thank you very much for the submission. We're not going to do it, but we will pay you a little bit of money because we are going to do our own Frankenstein picture.
Right.
And I think, and this is pure speculation, but I think Subotsky was probably a little bit pissed off about that.
Right.
And then when The Curse of Frankenstein got made, and it was massive, and I imagine they were pissed off about that. And they made their start in music pictures,
right?
Like Beach Blanket type pop, but British stuff. And then Doctor Terror. Doctor Terror was their first anthology picture.
And really, I mean, it's kind of embedded in like the DNA of Portmanteau horror, isn't it? I mean, it's one of those films where a lot of people, if you mention Portmanteau horror, this is what they think of, right? Doctor Terror's House of Horror. Yeah, absolutely. It is like, I don't know if it was I doubt it was the first, because there must have been stuff before.
What, the first Portmanteau picture?
Yeah, there must have been loads before.
Well, I can tell you if you'd like.
Yes. Oh, please do. Yeah.
So the first anthology horror picture was in 1919.
Right, so well before. So well before.
A German picture called Unheimliche Geschichten, which is translated as Eerie Tales.
Right.
And then the first kind of well-known anthology picture was 5 years later, was 1924, also German. Das Wachsfiguren Kabinett, Waxworks, which is still quite a well-known picture from there.
Yeah, very well-known.
And then there were bits and pieces here and there, but the first kind of big one that really made an impression, I think, was Dead of Night in 1945.
Right.
Which is an Ealing picture. And probably still my favourite portmanteau, I think.
Right, I'm going to have to seek that one out. I'm sure I have seen it. Yeah.
Go watch it now, man.
Is that good, yeah?
Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, there'll now be a 90-odd minute pause while George goes
I go and watch.
Honestly, it is. I think it's fantastic. It's set the template for an anthology picture. It is a wraparound story with 5 short stories in there. The short stories are directed by different people, which became, came back as a big thing in the sort of VHS era, the VHS film rather than the VHS, tape series. When VHS and the sequels were made, they were all different directors. Notably, it's got a comedy story.
Okay.
It is, as far as I can figure out, it is the template for almost every anthology movie you'll find now has a comedy story.
I was just about to say, I mean, almost all of them have at least one, don't they? And they're very well balanced for the most part as well. They are comedy stories, but they still have that wonderful edge of horror.
Some play better than others, obviously.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I love the one in From Beyond the Grave, where with the the demon on the guy's shoulder that's invisible, and the
Okay.
wonderful what's her name? The psychic, the medium, Madame
Uh,
Orloff,
I'm
Madame
all of
Orloff, who is one of the greatest characters in any of these films. Quite frankly, it's so eccentric, the performance.
I would say it took me a little while to appreciate the gem that episode is,
Mm-hmm.
because when I first watched From Beyond the Grave, I thought, well, this is a good movie that's got a dodgy segment in the middle.
Right.
But subsequent reviewings have led me to change my opinion on that slightly.
I must
Not
admit, I really enjoyed it. That one, I really enjoyed that one, especially this afternoon. It just gave me a giggle, you know.
it's a lovely little sequence, but it's probably, to my mind, it suffers a little bit. It suffered a little bit for me,
Mm-hmm.
following on as it did from An Act of Kindness, which is possibly the single greatest anthology segment ever
Yeah,
on,
very nasty.
which is just one of the creepiest things.
Yeah.
It's Donald Pleasance being Donald Pleasance, which is never a bad time.
No, and I mean, I don't know how Donald Pleasance does it because I mean, he's often very big, isn't he? Like his performances are very pantomimic. In this, it's not. He's very subdued in
Very
this
much,
one.
yeah.
It's
Uh,
all looks and little suggestions, you know.
it
The
reminds me more than anything else. It reminds me of his performance in The Great Escape. It's very
yes,
almost mouse-like.
yeah, understated, massively understated. Which for a performer like Pleasance, because he's also physically big as well. He's quite an imposing figure.
Hmm.
It's difficult, isn't it? It's a very difficult thing
It
for them
must
to
be,
manage.
yeah. So you've got him, and Donald Pleasance is always worth watching, even when he's not in the best picture.
Mhm.
Uh, Something which we may come on to with another anthology segment shortly.
We might.
We'll talk about that another time, yeah, later on. And then Angela Pleasance as the genuinely creepy part of this story,
Right. I
who is
mean,
supremely disturbing.
it's the uncanniness, isn't it? There's something about her framing and just the way she looks and
Yeah,
poises herself.
I still find her creepy when I
Yeah.
watch that now.
She's slightly inhuman, isn't she? There's something like
Very.
doll-like about her.
she, she appears to have been possessed by something not of this earth.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
that second, very, very. I mean, in my mind, she doesn't blink. I'm sure she does, but
Uh-huh.
that's what I think about it. It's just she's almost an automaton.
Yes. Yeah,
Uh,
the way she moves, the way she looks, the way she speaks, it does not feel human. And it's not
not
over the top either. That's the other thing. Like Donald Pleasance's performance, it's not too big.
No, absolutely. It's understatedly creepy, but
Hmm.
definitely creepy.
There's also
And
that, I
then
mean, there's that underlying factor of just like misery, right? Just the
oh,
misery of existence in the
it's
UK, right?
thoroughly. And this is one of the reasons that I love Amicus so much. It's the contemporary setting where
Mm.
Hammer was making their name, or had made their name up by this point, and was trading on that name predominantly with Gothics.
Of course.
Amicus predominantly made their films a contemporary setting, and I love that. I love this dreary '70s misery.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Especially when it's doing that very class conscious thing as well, which that story
Oh, it's
is
absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
it is about class consciousness, isn't it? Because of course the protagonist feels as though he's owed better things.
Yes, exactly that.
You know, that he
Uh,
should be operating in a better home with a better wife, with a better child. He's owed respect, you know. There's a sort of narcissistic edge to him, isn't there?
oh, very much so.
Quietly, but he's an impotent narcissist, interestingly, because he's married to someone who is just so much stronger than him.
Yeah, I was spectacular. Just everybody in that segment is brilliant. Ian Bannon,
Mhm.
the undersung everyman of the 1970s horror scene.
Yeah.
I just think he played the role perfectly.
It could,
Of,
because it is a role that could have been over the top, isn't it? It could have been too much in different hands.
but he really exemplifies this downtrodden, henpecked. I deserve much better from my life than what I've got, but I'm trapped here now and I can't do anything
Yeah.
about it.
Oh, it's awful. I mean,
Which is
the horror of that
yeah,
alone is bad enough, isn't it? That is bad enough. And then you get added in this bizarre supernatural stuff that's happening around him.
and then the trademark Amicus twist, of course. Uh,
Yes. Very interesting, because the implication almost is that they're actually angelic entities of some description.
Almost, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very bizarre.
sorry, spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen From Beyond the Grave from whatever it is, 52 years ago, 53.
Yeah, quite a while ago, definitely.
Yeah, they are very. They do come across as the saviors of
Of the
yeah,
innocent, right? Of the child. Because, of course, I mean, that's the other really clever thing about that story. The kid is present, but you're not focusing upon the kid. You don't know that the story is ultimately revolving around him.
it's their story. Yes, yeah. You assume it's Ian Bannon's story, and it
Right.
really is.
No, because really, when you think about it, he's a dead man walking. You know, the minute he walks into that antique shop, he's dead, right? He's a goner. Something awful's going to happen to him.
Temptation, the shop that we all want to visit. No, well, before we don't all.
Yeah.
I'd like to visit.
I'd love to. I mean, like needful things before needful things, right?
Oh, very much so. And Cushing doing his beautiful Yorkshire accent.
Honestly, it's brilliant. Love it. Cushing doing his slightly working class,
I love him in that. I mean, I love Cushing in basically anything that I've seen him in. I think he was a fantastic performer.
It's his. He's just got that thing that a lot of performers have, which is that essential charm. Christopher Lee's got he's got the authority, he's got the mystique about him, that stentorian thing where he just commands your attention. Cushing, it's charm and gentlemanliness, and that's why it's so wonderful to see him playing a sinister role. I always love it when he plays someone who is slightly creepy or negative or antagonistic.
Yeah, and see again, that's the interesting thing about From Beyond the Grave is he does, and obviously he is the kind of he's the repercussions.
Yes,
to the people who wrong him.
That's it, isn't it? I mean, he's not like entirely malevolent, because the people the people who get what's theirs, they all wrong him. They all steal from him in some way or some fashion. The only one who survives, of course, is the guy from the story with the door.
So you've got David Warner, who gets his just desserts.
That's a nasty story as well, actually.
You've got Ian Carmichael, who gets his just desserts.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially unprecedented third Ian in a film. I don't know. Ian Ogilvy in the final segment, who does the decent thing and pays the right amount of money. Well, then you're going to be okay. You're going to have to do stuff, but you'll be okay at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, the clever thing about that as well, about the way that story frames it as well, is that it leads you to believe that he has wronged him just for a while. You get that wonderful panning. You get that wonderful panning shot over to the till, but it doesn't show you if he's done anything until the end.
And then it's Cushing just counting out the last of the notes.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
It's a lovely bit of storytelling. It's very clever. It's beautifully framed, and I like that. I think that might be my favorite From Beyond. I like the central conceit, for one thing. The door that when you open it can open onto other places. I think that's utterly brilliant. The blue room. That's cool. There's something very almost Dario Argento about that.
Yes, that's very much got an Italian feel to it, that segment.
When I was watching it, I was thinking this is almost like Giallo. It's got that feeling about it. The mythology where it's Charles II because occultist Charles II's ghost, fine, immortal, eats the souls of the innocent, brilliant. And you get that wonderful collapse, when they're destroying the door and the metaphysics is all collapsing down. I think that's utterly brilliant.
I mean, the film as a whole, I think, holds up very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
The David Warner segment is genuinely iconic.
And actually really creepy, that one. I don't know whether it's because it is David Warner and he's so recognizable, but
the night of David Warner.
Oh, I love it. I mean, he looks actually quite fab. When he wanders into the shop, he's looking quite smart, isn't he?
Yeah. I had the pleasure of speaking with him a few years ago. Yeah, he did a little comic convention down this way that weekend, and a friend of mine who does a Star Trek podcast was interviewing him because he was in Star Trek, I believe. I know nothing about Star Trek.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I believe he was in Star Trek. So I was there with my friend, and he's doing this interview with David Warner, and they finish up. He's like, "Thanks for that. By the way, this is my friend Steve. He wanted to have a chat with you as well." I'm like, "Oh, hello.
Oh,
yes."
Hi. Unprepared, of course. You know?
Entirely unprepared. So I just said to him, "It's really nice to meet you, and I just wanted to speak to you about the 70s horror pictures that you did, from the Grave and the Omen and what have you."
Of course.
And he shook my hand very warmly, and he said, "It was so long ago, I don't remember a thing about them now."
I can imagine. I mean,
Fair enough. I'll let you get back to your day then.
And of course, it was the 70s. I mean, my God,
It is a great regret of mine that I spoke with David Warner, admittedly only for a few minutes, and the words Twin and Peaks never passed my lips. I don't know how I managed to not mention that. But for anybody that hasn't seen Twin Peaks, David Warner has a role in the latter part of the second season of Twin Peaks.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Anyway, sorry, that's off topic.
No, I mean, it's interesting because again, you get that class. There's almost like class consciousness thing going on. You get the impression with David Warner's character that he's sort of like he's almost like the 1970s equivalent of a yuppie with like he's got ex-hippie vibes, but he's got money. He was a moneyed child, and
he's obviously the centre of his social circle.
Yes, that's very clear.
They're all around the house. Oh, it's seance time.
Seance time, yeah.
which I assume is where Pemberton and Shearsmith got the title for their Inside Number 9 episode.
Oh, there is no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
David Warner in the show as well. So
well, yeah, and from what I understand, they were they knew him relatively well. He was also in the films, the film of the League of Gentlemen, I believe.
Apocalypse as well, isn't he? Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're on record as being massive anthology film fans.
Well, you can tell. I mean, the influence of these films, the Amicus films, on their work is unreal, right?
Look at the League of Gentlemen Halloween special, or Christmas special, sorry.
Right. I mean, actually, now that you mention it, I mean, what a great example of a portmanteau horror, right?
It's perfect.
I mean, probably one of the best.
I think it's fantastic.
I love about the League of Gentlemen Christmas special is all of the League of Gentlemen stuff comes very close to horror. Mm-hmm. That comes so close. I think at times it tips right over.
Yeah, I think the League of Gentlemen Christmas special comes close to comedy.
Yeah.
It's close to comedy.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it's more. There is more horror. No, there is more raw horror in it.
Absolutely 100% a horror film.
And I love the framing. I love the framing of it being Bernice, the vicar.
The wraparound is fantastic. And, Bernice hating Christmas.
So good. So good.
Because she's a miserable bitch.
Yeah,
and
right.
Later on that she's got good reason to hate Christmas.
Yeah, right. And the way that's introduced as well, the little flashbacks that you get, where you don't actually see Papa Lazarou until the very end.
At the very end, yeah.
Very cool.
What I assume is a tribute to the first story in Tales from the Crypt.
Yes, I've got to assume so.
Again, if you talk to people about anthology pictures, that's another one that'll jump out. Amicus anthology pictures is that segment from Tales
from the Crypt. Yes, most people who don't watch like anthology pictures, they are aware of or understand Tales from the Crypt.
Joan Collins and a Killer Santa. People know the frame reference for that. The ridiculously red paint blood.
Well, that's a thing, isn't it? That is almost like a motif, right?
Oh, the Kensington Door, yes, very much.
I mean, like all of the Amicus films have got this ridiculous blood in it, which is they don't even they're not pretending that it's real or that it's meant to be realistic.
No.
It's paint. It's clearly very, very, very cheap paint.
And now that film is a perfect example of what you were saying about the names that turn up in these things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're casting this movie. We've got Peter Cushing, obviously,
who's in like practically all of them, isn't he? Let's be honest, he's in almost all of them.
He is in 6 of the 7 anthology pictures from Amicus. The only one that's not in is Torture Garden.
Right. Okay.
So we've got him, we've got most of our cast lined up, but what we need is a kind of imposing figure who'll oversee the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right, who can we get?
I wonder.
Well, we could chance our arm with Sir Ralph Richardson. But it can't hurt to ask. And there he is. He's done a half day's work.
Yep.
Basically sitting in a cave looking ominous. And you've suddenly got this legend of the theatre in your movie. And it lends a possibly unwarranted air of decorum to the film.
A little bit of gravitas where maybe it's not entirely warranted.
Yeah. And again, I say all of these things with respect because I love all of these films.
Likewise. I mean, I want to make it very clear. Even when they're bad, they're really good fun.
Very much so. Yeah.
There's something where there is a state of mind going into a portmanteau horror, isn't there? There is that you need to sort of understand what they're about,
Yeah.
which is they are going to be low grade. They're going to be low rent. The effects are not going to be good. And
by and large,
by
there's a
and large,
couple.
some of them are quite impressive. Again, the one with the door and the blue room in From Beyond the Grave, actually very impressive. I mean, almost all of the budget from that film, clearly in effects terms, clearly went on that.
But then one of the most effective sequences, I think, in any of the anthology pictures from Amicus, I can only assume was relatively cheap to do, but very, very effective, is the Blind Alley segment from Tales from the Crypt, the final segment.
Yeah, it's very, very, actually very good. Genuinely creepy, atmospheric.
Of this guy who's trapped in a maze of very narrow corridors with razor blades lining the walls, and is given the idea that it's like a segment from a Saw film 30 years earlier.
Yes.
If you put yourself through this and you cut yourself open on these razor blades, you will find salvation. You will get out. Only for him to then realise that at the other end of this maze is his dog, who hasn't been fed for 2 days, and has now got the scent of blood in his nose. It's beautiful.
It's so cool.
That obviously, Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror were EC. They were EC Comics stories,
and framed as such. Yeah, I mean they're essentially comic books in film form.
They are exactly that, and they are obviously famous for their moralistic twist endings.
Yes,
but that I think works beautifully. It's one of the best Amicus segments. Blind Alley's that, and Poetic Justice from
conceptually, it's horrible, isn't it? It's such a brilliant notion, and like you say, this is something I noticed watching them this afternoon. The influence of these stories on latter day cinema is unreal. You mentioned Saw, the stuff in all of them that is so profoundly influential. I mean, the whole framing device from Beyond the Grave it's Needful Things, right? It's Stephen King's Needful Things.
Yeah. They are. You're absolutely right. I think they have been much more influential than anybody really has given them credit for.
And that's not just because of the people involved with them, but because the people who later became major creators in horror absolutely love them and reference them endlessly.
I mean, if we go back to Dead of Night, the most famous sequence in Dead of Night is the ventriloquist dummy, which is Michael Redgrave and a dummy that is possessed or has sentience and is pitched as, here is a ventriloquist with a dummy who's a little bit cheeky and what have you, and then it turns out that here's a dummy with a guy who he sits on, essentially, and the dummy's really in control.
Right.
And I think we've been that story since 1945.
Yeah, I was going to say, right. I can think numerous different horror films are leaping to my mind. Magic, obviously Child's Play. They're just endless.
Twilight Zone.
It's not very good, but Annabelle and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that, to an extent at least, stems from Dead of Night, I think.
Yeah, very interesting.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right when you say that the majority of these films are relatively low budget and relatively low rent. I think that is what contributes to the subgenre coming back into popularity on a regular basis, because you can do it relatively.
You can sort of get away with it, right?
Yeah. And also it lends itself, certainly more recently, not necessarily always in the best way, but it lends itself to a producer maybe saying, I want to do a film, but I can't afford to fund a whole film, so we can kind of scour to see who's made short films that we can put together and make a project out.
I mean,
sometimes it works out, more often than not.
Yeah, very often. I mean, it is a risky thing to do, isn't it? It's very difficult to do because, especially if you've got different creators involved, if you've got different writers, different directors for each short piece,
Yeah.
because making them coherent and making them qualitatively consistent is
Hmm.
must be a very difficult task indeed.
It's a different thing, setting something up and saying we're doing this project, we're going to have 4 directors, they're each in a
Mhm.
director segment, and planning it out from the beginning, and coming to it and saying we want to do this, we're going to take films that have already been made,
Yeah.
because then, as you say, you've already got what could potentially be a clash of styles, a clash of temperaments, etc., putting these things together. Whereas with, again, say Dead of Night, for example, it was a project that was planned, and we're going to make this a coherent film.
Yeah.
As such, I assume there was some kind of um, thought process that went into making the things tonally similar, even if
Yes.
and there is variation. Like I say,
Mhm.
there's a comedy story, golfing story, which is widely seen as a kind of throwaway. I rather like it myself, but
Yeah.
it is an out and out comedy. It's about two golfers competing for the same woman.
Nice.
It's very much a story of its time.
Uh-huh.
They're both in love with the same woman, and rather than saying to her, "Which one of us would you like to marry?" they say, "Right, well, what we'll do as gentlemen is we'll play a round of golf, and whoever wins gets to marry her."
Right. So yes, she's the trophy, effectively. Yeah.
And the one who loses walks into the lake and kills himself,
Okay.
and then,
Interesting.
and then proceeds to haunt the couple on their wedding night, which is
That sounds really good, actually.
it's great. I really like it.
That
It's
sounds a lot of fun.
not well thought of, though. So anyway, yes. So I think the takeaway here for you, George, is go and watch Dead of Night. It's very,
Yeah,
very
I've got to watch this. I mean, it sounds. I mean, the one you were talking about with Robert Redgrave, I actually I may have heard of that story. That sounds
yeah,
really, really, really familiar to me. I may have seen
yeah.
it referenced in something else or in an interview with someone else or
It
something.
gets brought up all the time as
Yeah.
a touch point and
Hmm.
40s, and well, not just
Yeah.
40s horror generally.
It's just horror in general, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing, really. You've got to watch out for. A lot of the Portmanteau horrors are of different eras, obviously. So they do have different social mores, and there are elements of them that can be a bit questionable.
Yeah,
I
of course,
mean,
they all come with the caveat of they were made in a different time.
yes, very much so. I mean, Dr. Terra's House of Horror. There is a story about West Indian voodoo, I believe,
Mhm.
and
Yep,
it's
not the most
interesting.
culturally sensitive story in the 2020s, but
No, no, but you know, it is
I don't
what
think
it
it's
is.
outright offensive necessarily. It's just
No, it's interesting
it's
because it
not with
like
the
I mean, one of the things it does do is that it doesn't paint like the West Indian characters as evil or as savages or anything like that. Actually, it's kind of the other way around. It's the
Mhm.
interfering idiot white Western guy who's a moron, basically,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
gets his comeuppance for it. Which fair enough, absolutely fair enough.
as a subject matter, actually, it probably is quite relevant now because it's about cultural appropriation, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is. I mean, like right down to the wire, right? This
Yeah,
is this is a it's a
it's about
story
a white
about
man who steals music from
yes,
the indigenous people of the West Indies
it's about
and gets come up and for it.
colonialism, and yeah, it's a really interest in that regard. Even though the aesthetics might be taken as fairly insensitive, and they are, that's part. Sadly, that is part of it. The actual thrust of the story, the significance of the story, is kind of anti-colonialist,
Very much so.
and it's very interesting in that regard. It is really a fascinating piece of work. Mind you, that I mean, again, you also have like the Peter Cushing character, who is kind of a anti-Semitic stereotype with the way he's sort of like
Yeah,
designed and framed and whatnot.
I'd never considered that, but as soon as you say that, I think, oh no, you're absolutely right. I
He
can
kind
see it.
of he kind of looks like Fagin, doesn't he? He looks
Does
like
look very
Fagin
much
is
like
meant to
Fagin.
look.
Yes.
There's or Shylock. He's got that feeling about him.
Yeah.
And the accent and everything is very reminiscent of like a sort of anti-Semitic 1940s cartoon. And that's problematic. That is problematic. But again, it's. I mean, it's really. It's one of the. It's actually part of something that makes watching these films so interesting because they are
Mm.
windows into
They are.
another time when such things were much more normalized, as bad as they are.
Yeah, I think you have to accept that if you watch a 1960s film, you're going to be subject to 1960s viewpoints, and that's rightly or wrongly that is how it is.
Yeah, it provides you a window into what people are actually thinking and what was just acceptable and normalized at that time.
That's not to make any kind of judgment on the rightness or wrongness of any of
No,
it. It's just, it was made in a time, and I know that's very much a get out clause.
yeah,
Oh, it's time, but it is true.
it is true, and it's one of those things you've just got to wrestle with if you're going to tackle these stories. I mean, the other thing, of course, is that fairly low key misogynist films as well. There's a lot of them where women are kind of fodder, really. I mean, the first one with David Warner, where almost all the female characters are just basically there to be
Oh
killed.
yeah, absolutely. They serve no other purpose really in that whatsoever.
I mean, there are others where like women are completely dominant as well, which is kind of interesting. The one with the one in From Beyond the Grave with the invisible elemental demon, and
Yeah,
the fantastic Madam, was it
Madam
Madam?
Warlock,
Yeah,
Madam.
Madam, just fantastic. I mean, she absolutely dominates the entire film.
Yeah,
She is the authority. She knows what she's doing. She's the one who ostensibly dispels the demon
hmm
in the most brilliantly dramatic way, by the way. I mean, like, the way the camera doesn't move off of her while she's performing the exorcism is amazing.
yeah.
And
So
I am certain she's ad-libbing a lot of that shit.
I think that's probably true. Yes. Again, John Llewellyn Probert's the man to speak to about that. He knows a lot about that film. Um,
Right.
I believe he is in the process or has written a book on that film, in fact, which I eagerly await.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. I
Um,
mean, I'm low-key obsessed, actually, with both that short film and that performance in particular, that character. I love her, you know.
she is a standout. She's a standout in what is an excellent film, and all in all. So
Yeah.
that's high praise indeed to say that she is a standout in that picture.
And I mean,
Well,
she is completely over the top as well, but that works. She somehow made it work. It could have killed it. It could have killed that
it
short
could have
film
been
stone dead.
hugely cartoonish,
Hmm.
and it wasn't. And that is down to her, I think,
Yeah.
really. Um,
There's some great
over and above.
tonal variation in that one as well. Like the moments where the protagonist, the couple, are in bed and the demon is effectively assaulting the wife are
Mm.
actually really, really quite distressing.
Genuinely disturbing, yeah. But no, I think you're right. I think it's down to Margaret Leighton in that role that
Mhm.
she didn't go too far with it, because it is a cartoon role
Yeah,
and
totally.
he is ridiculous in it, but she manages to just stay the right side of the line of ridiculousness.
Yes, and it's only just,
It
mind.
is
It
only
is
just.
like, but then again, I mean, like, also the framing helps because when she's performing the exorcism, all sorts of crap is going on. I mean, like, all
Hmm.
the special effects are going on. The house is falling apart, cushions are bursting, TVs are erupting, and things are falling off the wall and whatnot. And you know what? The great thing is you never, ever, ever, like, see anything. You never see a jot of whatever this elemental thing is. You only get its effects, which I think really works well.
It really helps, and therein lies the benefit of having bugger all money.
Well, this is it, right? It's a kind of gag, isn't it?
You can't suggest it, and it turns out that it works rather better.
Yeah, it's a case of, well, we can't actually, we haven't got the money to make a demon effectively, so we'll make it invisible.
And yeah,
Great.
that in counterpoint to one of Sabotsky's later films.
Hmm.
So from Beyond the Grey was the last of the Amicus anthologies.
Was it?
Uh, yeah,
Oh wow.
the last of the seven in 1974.
Wow. I mean that is, I mean, it's a good capstone as well. It's a very
It is.
strong film. I mean, like on a purely technical level, it's probably one of the best of them. I mean, it's got a lot going for it.
It's the best made of the Amicus anthology pictures, I would say.
Definitely.
Uh,
Definitely. And I love
so
like the
with
way it flows, the way each of the stories flows back to the framing device and then it carries on into the next story. Very beautiful.
it does. It works beautifully as a coherent piece. Savotsky obviously loved the concept.
Mhm.
What he wanted to do originally was make a horror film for children,
Right. Okay.
and he got his opportunity to do that. 6 years later, he made the Monster Club.
Of course.
which is once again based on R. Chetwynd Hayes' short stories, a short story writer who I particularly love. And that is an example of what happens when people have got more money than perhaps they know what to do with.
Yeah.
And decide to spend, well, I'm not saying more money, because I'm guessing it was still a fairly low budget picture. But they seem to have put quite a lot of that money into the worst possible rubber masks. I don't know if you've seen the Monster Club, George.
I've seen the Monster Club, yeah.
So you'll be familiar. For anybody that hasn't, the framing device is of R. Chetwynd Hayes himself, the author, played by John Carradine, who meets up with a vampire played by Vincent Price, who takes him to the Monster Club, where all of the monsters go to drink and socialise and listen to what I can only assume the producers thought were going to be huge bands and weren't.
Just weren't, yeah.
And said club is populated by 100 or so extras in the worst rubber monster masks I possibly have ever seen, I think.
Really? That? Yeah, they are that bad.
They are appalling. And again, I say this with love because I really like the Monster Club, but the masks are shocking.
The masks are shite, yes.
But it's a 3-segment movie, and 2 of those segments I think are really good. There's the Shadmock segment, which is really, really creepy, about a creature who can kill with a whistle.
Yeah.
And the final segment, which I think is very atmospheric, about ghouls, and that works really well, even if there's a couple of horrible puns in there that I can't quite get over. It's got this middle segment, which is the comedy segment, with Donald Pleasance, about vampire hunters and the Bleeny, the B team of the police force who hunt vampires, and it is just work to sit through. It is
it sags heavily in the middle, doesn't it? It really does. And even Donald Pleasance, and I mean, normally Donald Pleasance doesn't matter what he's in, he's fantastic, right? He can't save it.
He really cannot save that picture,
unfortunately.
The picture itself, I think, is lovely. It's got a bit of a trite ending of, oh well, this is a club for monsters. What's he doing here? Well, he's a human. They're the worst monsters of all. Oh, good. Well, we're all here today then.
Fair enough,
It was kind of the dying end of. It was made under a different banner. I think it was Sword and Sorcery Productions, off the top of my head, something. But it's an Amicus picture in all but name.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely a homage, right?
And Subotsky went on to fund Cat's Eye in 1985.
Whoa, Cat's Eye! That might have been the first one I ever saw. Yeah, I had that. It was one of those things that my mother had on. She taped it off the television, and there were loads of other things on the tape with it. And now that you've mentioned it, the song is in my head.
Yeah,
damn it!
You've got that for the rest of the day now.
Yeah, God damn it!
That again it's a picture with 3 segments, and 2 of them I think are strong, and one of them is kind of a letdown.
Kind of shite. Yeah, I mean the one at the end with the little man in the wall, and
And I say that as somebody who is a lifelong fan of Drew Barrymore.
And I mean, my God, is this isn't? I mean, she's very young in this.
She is very young. Yeah,
she's very bloody young in this. I mean,
3 years post ET.
Yeah, jeez.
She's very young, and she's fine as child actors go.
Yeah, she's fine. I mean, and she's almost incidental in this, isn't she? She's not the focus, right?
It's about the goblin and the cat.
It's about the goblin and the cat. I mean, the thing that always gets me about that film is the way they are clearly having trouble directing the cat. That is so goddamn clear. And they're doing all of this trickery to make it look like the cat is doing heroic stuff.
Yeah.
And it ain't. You've just got basically someone's footage of the cat batting at something, and they're trying to insert the little man into it, and they're doing all of this slow, they're slowing down the footage and whatnot, and putting heroic music over it.
It just doesn't. Personally.
No, it's not great. I love the design of the little man.
Actually, thinking about it, I think there's another Subotsky connection there. He should have learned by this point. Yes, I'm sure it is, because he also produced a movie in 1977 called The Uncanny, which is another 3-story anthology picture.
I think I may have seen that one.
With Peter Cushing again.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's
of
all
course.
cat. It's stories which one way or another feature cats, and it's really very, very dull.
Is it not good?
It's not good. No,
What a shame.
not a good film.
Mind you do limit yourself, don't you, when you have such a narrow subject?
Yes, yeah. Cats in anthology horror films just don't work out for me. The
Yeah.
Uncanny's poor, segment's poor, and then there's the Cat from Hell segment in Tales from the Dark Side, which just doesn't work for me. Just
oh God, yeah, I remember. And they try so hard to make it horrible, don't they?
And they fail so badly.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. I mean, again, trying to direct cats and trying to get them to do what you want them to do must be a nightmare.
I would imagine so, yeah.
But also, I mean, I actually like evil cats, so it doesn't really work for me as horror anyway.
Not to love about an evil cat. Well, you say evil cats. Presumably by that you mean cats.
Yeah, well, cats. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, it's a tautology, isn't it? It's completely redundant.
So you reckon Cat's Eye was probably the first one you saw?
Yeah, because that mean I must have been so young when I first saw that. I must have been like preschool, definitely preschool, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, the other 2 stories, I don't remember much about them, if I'm perfectly honest.
The other 2 I think work. The General, which is the cat story, was written for the film, I think. I might be wrong. It might be an unpublished thing that he adapted or they adapted. Right. But the other 2, Quitters Inc. and The Ledge, are both from Skeleton Crew, if I remember.
I was going to say they're Stephen King stories, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, Skeleton Crew or Night Shift.
I think it is Skeleton Crew.
I think it's Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
And those, I think, work well. Particularly Quitters Inc. I think works really well. But that, so talking about firsts, I don't remember. But I'm guessing my first anthology picture was Tales of Terror.
Oh, yeah, pretty good one.
The Roger Corman. So
yeah, I like that one.
When I was too young to be doing such things.
Yes, as is often the case on this podcast, we hear that a lot.
My dad let me stay up late. I remember there was a documentary, I'm sure it was BBC Two, about the Corman Poe films.
Oh.
And we watched that. And then I'm guessing that probably finished at 9 o'clock. That would have been my bedtime. So that gives you a rough idea of how old I was.
So very young, I'd assume.
And my mother was out. She used to work evenings occasionally. And she happened to be out. And I said to my dad, can I sit up and watch the film? Because they showed the documentary. And then they showed, it would either have been House of Usher or... And he said, well, don't tell your mother, but yes, you can sit up and watch the film.
Love it. Love it.
Up and watch this movie. And then I then watched the whole run. They aired them subsequent weeks on BBC.
Oh, wow.
So Tales of Terror would have been the first one that I'd seen, I would think, but I don't remember seeing it at the time. Now I love it. I think it's fantastic.
It is a very, very good one.
The Peter Lorre Black Cat Cask of Amontillado combined storyline is brilliant.
Really good. Yeah, it's a really good scene. And I mean, I'm a bit of a fan. I love Peter Lorre in almost anything, quite frankly. So I'm already sold. And
you put Vincent Price in anything, and it's going to be good.
Well, yes. Then you've got Vincent Price being great as per.
So that I think is a really strong segment, and I think the facts in the case of Monsieur Valdemar segment is genuinely creepy still.
Yeah, it works.
Really quite horrible. So that was probably the first I saw. The first one that I remember seeing, on the other hand, and I guess this is probably the case with a lot of people around my age. So I'm 49. So probably a lot of people around my age had the same first experience, which was Creepshow.
I was just about to say it's of course it's going to be Creepshow, isn't it?
I had no idea what it was at the time. I bought a VHS copy in Woolworths.
Well, that ages it for a start.
Yeah, I had a lovely top-loading VHS machine.
Oh, wow.
I had got sick of the one VHS tape that I owned, which was Highlander. And was in Woolworths, and I saw this thing, and I thought, oh, that looks like it might be quite interesting. It's a horror picture. I've just started to kind of like get into watching horror movies.
Yeah.
I'm not old enough to buy this because it's rated 18. On the other hand, I am 6 foot plus and can get away with it.
Just about. And also, people just didn't care, did they? Let's be honest. Back
I had
then.
a lot less in the 1980s. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And so, yeah, I don't know. I was like 12, 13 maybe. And I could get away with seeing 18 pictures and buying 18 chess. So I bought Creepshow and fell in love.
And to be fair, I mean, like Creepshow is so framed that it's more. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? You know, it's comedy horror.
It is very much comedy horror. It's a movie that doesn't hold up as well for me now as it does for a lot of people.
No, I mean, it is one of those films that's sort of embedded in a lot of people's like personal histories, isn't it? And I think for many, it may be like the first portmanteau horror that they've ever seen, and it's certainly going to be the one that like leaps to mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the best.
I don't think any of the segments are particularly strong, honestly.
No, I can sort of appreciate what it's doing. I like the fact that, you know, it's a big old comic book, and I mean, you know, even the opening sequence, it animates itself, doesn't it? You know, it becomes a comic book. It literally becomes a comic book. And I actually kind of like the framing of like the kid seeking out like a release from the horror of his life through horror comic books. I think that's really cool. But the individual,
gone on to do quite well for himself.
Yeah, right. But the individual stories are not amazing.
No, I think not. I think that there are much better examples, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, don't be wrong. They're fun. They're fun. They are absolutely fine for what they're trying to do, for what they're trying to achieve. I mean, my God, you have to sort of grit your teeth and get through Stephen King's acting, don't you?
Oh, well, I love King.
He's great. I mean, I love him to bits. And in this film, that style of acting actually works fine.
It works. And honestly, and that segment is probably the one that I've softened on most.
Yeah.
So when I first watched the film, I'm like, well, this is a great picture with this awful segment in it. This is an acceptably fun picture with an acceptably fun segment in it.
Yeah.
Because it is so over the top, it is so cartoony, and it fits. You put that in a movie, it's horrendous. You put it in Creepshow, and it kind of works.
Yes.
And it's still better than Creepshow 2.
Wow, they weren't really trying with Creepshow 2.
Which in itself is worlds better than Creepshow 3.
I don't think I didn't even know there was a Creepshow 3.
I'm sorry to say that there is a Creepshow 3.
Oh, wow.
Very
Did that come like significantly later, or was it
a long time later? So
yeah, I thought so.
The Tales from the Dark Side movie from 1990 was, I believe, originally supposed to be Creepshow 3.
Right. I mean, that's late on for a portmanteau horror as well, isn't it? 1990. Yeah.
Well, there were still drabs around that time.
There were. I remember, like, I mean, nobody's going to remember this. Nobody. This is like a deep cut. There was, I remember when I was a kid and I'm sure it was made for TV or it was straight to video, and I'm sure it was produced by Sky. There was this terrible, like, TV portmanteau horror film called After Dark.
After Dark?
Yeah, do you know it?
I don't know that one.
Really obscure, and I mean really bloody obscure. 1991, I believe. Okay. And it is, the framing device is crap. The framing device is bloody awful. It's about a group of students, and you don't know what their main subject is, whether it's sociology or literature, but they're taking a module which is all about terror. It's all about fear, the emotion of fear.
I do know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. It's
called After Midnight.
After Midnight, that's it. Not After Dark. After Midnight, that's the one.
It's a theatrical movie.
Yeah, isn't it?
And it stars Marge Helgenberger in one of the segments. Great fame in CSI. Yeah. I don't mind it, I have to say.
I mean, I like it, but only for nostalgia's sake. I liked it when I was a kid.
It's good, but it's fun.
It is fun. I mean, for God's sake, it has got a stop motion skeleton in it.
Well, the straight away then. Look,
it's right out of Harryhausen. It looks for all the bloody world like the ones from the end of Jason and the Argonauts. You know?
I know. Not quite as cool.
Yeah, not quite as cool, because nothing is really as cool as that, is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, the way it's framed is a bit silly. I think the framing device is weird. You know, where they all go to the professor's house for like a private kind of lesson,
Yeah,
and they're telling stories which are basically like they're adaptations of American urban legends, aren't they?
yeah.
Um, and some of them are okay actually. The one I do like is the one it's basically based on the story of the babysitter, where like the call is coming from inside the
Yeah.
house or the building. That one I actually really rather like, about
Yeah, no,
the woman who works at a call center and
yeah,
keeps getting
that's the March
weird.
story.
Yeah, I like that one. That's quite creepy actually.
Yeah, that's all right.
The others, uh, I'm not
Not
so sold on.
not a great picture, but it's a perfectly acceptable late 80s horror movie.
It's okay. You know,
It's
I'm not
better
going
than
to
a lot of
rag on
stuff.
it too hard. It is clearly very low budget. It's clearly not something that was meant to be at the cinema or anything like that. You know, it's a TV movie.
Yeah,
And I imagine for like a diverting evening, if you've got a group of people around with drinks and popcorn and whatnot, it would be quite fun.
I'm sure I've watched it in that group actually,
Yes, that's
and I
probably
think
the best way.
um, but yeah, it was one of the low points of anthologies was sort of the 80s turn into the 90s. There
Yeah.
was
Well, they were
that.
dying a death, weren't they? By that point, they really were dying a death.
Yeah, there was a movie called Campfire Tales in '91. It's not terribly good.
Yeah.
There's a Western horror anthology from '92
Really?
called Two Fisted Tales.
Okay, that's interesting.
There's been a couple of Western horror anthologies, bizarrely
Yeah,
enough.
one that's really strange, isn't it? I wonder where that came from.
Because that's sub-genre, that is, isn't it?
That
Yeah.
that really, I mean, that is niche, isn't it?
But then it kind of died off really until VHS picked
Yes,
it up
and so until
really.
really you started to get that, it was the influence of things like the analog horror from YouTube and whatnot bleeding in, you know, where, and also, I mean, obviously the influence of Japanese and Korean horror, which is often about the medium
Well, yes.
upon which it's recorded, right?
But that's another area. So, there were Far East and Asian portmanteau pictures being made, or anthology pictures being
Of
made.
course.
Things like Three Extremes.
Yeah. Which often, I mean, like, as is often the case with Japanese, Korean, Thai horror, um, a lot of the moral qualms and the cultural qualms that Western horror we've become used to in Western horror just don't exist.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
they
I
are
mean,
pitiless.
the opening segment in Three Extremes would never get made. I think in a Western by a Western studio. Again, I don't know if you're familiar with Three Extremes.
I'm not, but it sounds good.
So it's a compendium film. It's not even
Uh-huh.
an anthology film. It's just three films put together.
Right. Interesting.
It's won by There's one Japanese director, one Korean director, and I think one Thai
Oh
director.
no, that is interesting. So you could actually look at like the
You can compare
differences.
the national styles, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And Takeshi Miike does one of them.
Mhm.
Um, and I can't remember off the top of my head who the other two directors are, which is not a lot of help to you, is it? Takeshi Miike, Fruit Chan,
Mhm.
and what's your man's name? Park Chan Wook, that did Old Boy.
Oh, no, that endears me automatically, quite frankly.
So Japan, South Korea, and Hong Kong. I'm just looking this up so I don't get my.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and the one that sticks out to me is Fruit Chan's story, which is called Dumplings,
Mm.
which is about a. I don't even want to talk too much about it because I really want people to go and watch it.
Yeah, this is one I'm going to seek out. Actually, this sounds really up my alley.
It's about fertility and childbirth,
Oh
and
God,
it's an experience.
yeah.
It's an experience.
Again,
I reckon.
guys, bearing in mind that a lot of this style of horror is absolutely pitiless and doesn't pull its punches.
Oh, there are no punches pulled in this. No, not at all.
Yeah.
So that I very much recommend. Um, but no, actually, I'm going to go back on what I said previously. VHS, I suppose, was a big name, but actually, a few years before VHS, Trick or Treat,
Of
which
course. Yeah.
style of anthology picture. So
Mhm.
That is, and there's not many examples of this, at least not ones that are done well. But
No, it is rare. I mean, even like, I mean, the VHS films, they vary, don't they, in
they're
quality?
incredibly variable. The thing with Trick or Treat is that it's a portmanteau picture, but it's a portmanteau picture where rather than the Amicus style, and the Amicus
Mhm.
style is very much let's put some people in a space and we'll give them a reason to tell stories.
That's it.
So there's a tarot reader, or the worst possible example, they got stuck in a lift and they're recounting their bad dreams.
Yeah.
Oh, Voldemort.
Oh
Well,
dear.
what you could have been. Anyway,
Hmm.
so rather than that, what we've got with Trick or Treat is we've got a coherent storyline
Hmm.
that kind of takes a side road to tell somebody's story and then
Yeah.
cut the main path. And then we see those characters elsewhere in the film. And that I think plays really well. It's a lovely idea. And I think
It's
it's
kind
very,
of interesting, isn't it? It's a difficult one to make fly.
yeah, well, very, very much so. It's something, it's certainly something you couldn't do coherently with multiple directors, I think.
No. Oh my god! Can you imagine trying to coordinate it? It
That
would
would
it
be
would be
so.
very hard.
But yeah, Michael Dougherty directed that, and he obviously had a vision for what he wanted to put together, and I think it worked out very well for him.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's fascinating to see any kind of portmanteau film made after what, the 1980s, that has any degree of success, really.
Yeah. And that one in particular because it plays with the structure so well.
Hmm. Hmm.
The other one that I would recommend to people if you haven't seen it is a film called Southbound,
Haven't
which
seen that one.
uh, I'm off the top of my head, I'm going to say roughly 2015-ish. And
But
I'm
quite, I mean, for a portmanteau horror film, very
yeah,
recent.
I mean, it's a pretty recent title. I would
Wow.
say it's the best one of the last 10, 15 years for my money.
Whoa.
Um, it is it is a coherent film
Hmm.
that is directed by multiple different people,
Right.
yet it still works, and it's similar to Trick or Treat, but not quite.
Okay.
So where Trick or Treat has a through line, and you kind of, as I say, you take these side roads to talk about stories of individuals.
Hmm.
Southbound, each story bleeds into the next story.
Right. It's okay. I'm very intrigued.
I,
I'm
I,
very
I
intrigued.
track this film down. I really, really like it.
Okay,
It's
so I've got a list. I've got a list of stuff when we finish this.
yes, that's,
I need to go and find.
that's what I was hoping that would result from this. It is. I think it's really, really well put together, and it is
Right.
genuinely creepy in places. And it's one
Okay.
of the few that, if I remember rightly, doesn't actually have comedy in it at all. It is a straight horror film.
That's unusual for a portmanteau horror, isn't it? That is
It,
very unusual, actually.
I think you'll enjoy it because it does tap into this analog horror mentality.
Which I've got a thing for, definitely.
The style of the analog horror, um, and it is very liminal and it's very unsettling a lot of the time.
That sounds right up my alley, actually. It's like ticking all my boxes.
If you take one film away from this conversation, I would say Southbound is one that you really because it was. I mean, it's well thought of by people who talk about anthology horror, but I don't know
Uh-huh.
that it was seen generally, and I think
Oh,
there's a lot more airtime than it gets.
wow. Very. Oh, yeah, I'm in. I'm in. I've got to see it. I've got to see it. I mean, do you know, like, I mean, you're taking it, raking it right back to the moment. Do you know the history, the film Blood on Satan's Claw?
I do, yes,
That was meant to be a sort of
yeah,
um, an anthology horror, wasn't
it
it?
was
When it was
absolutely.
originally created, it was meant to be. And if you watch the film, I mean, I actually really love the film for all of its faults. I
Yeah,
really love that film. You can see it. It's
hmm.
really fascinating. There are at least three different stories happening here.
It's one of those that I didn't pick up on it when I saw the film,
Uh-huh.
and I'd seen the film a few times before I learned that it was
Yeah.
original anthology, and
But
then,
when
and
you
then
know, right, and you go and watch it, it's like, oh,
now I can see
yes.
I can see how that would have worked as an anthology pitch.
And it's so
Um,
strange because actually that smushing together of those what were intended to be three separate films actually works in its favor.
It does. I think it works really well as a movie.
It makes it much more uncanny and weird and introduces elements that don't necessarily gel together, but that makes it more unsettling.
Yes, and I think, yeah, as you say, it works in its favour by having those kind of disparate feelings within the film.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's a really interesting piece of work.
I think it's the from what I gather, it is the least recognised outside of aficionados of the kind of big three folk horror pictures.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
because it's not obviously folk horror. I think that's part of it. It is not even though it absolutely is. It conforms to like
very
everything
much,
that you want from folk horror.
but it's still not as well recognised as Witchfinder General or the Wicker
Oh,
Man.
Wicker Man, obviously, you know.
That's again that's another conversation for another day. It's a movie that
Yeah, absolutely. Bloody hell, the Wicker Man. I did that with my other podcast team last Halloween actually, because we did like a folk horror season.
Mhm.
We did Blood on Satan's Claw. We did the Wicker Man, and bloody hell. I mean that. I don't know. You know, it is so much smarter than even most people give it credit for. The Wicker Man, the original Wicker Man. It's such a beautiful film.
And it's got no bees in it, so
No, it doesn't have bees and it doesn't have Nicolas Cage. I mean, this is actually to its deficit. It doesn't have
well,
Nicolas Cage punching a bear.
I mean, there are very few films that couldn't be made better with Nicolas Cage punching a bear in them.
No, it's true. In fact, you know, I mean, it's a woman in a bear costume, and that makes it even better.
It does very much so. I like to think that Nicolas Cage is actually off screen in that little cut scene in The Shining, um, and that just after we move past the doorway, Nicolas Cage jumps out and punches the bear. But that's just the first.
Yeah, that would have made for a very different film, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?
You would,
Um,
you know, you would have gotten like generations of Kubrick scholars wondering what the significance of Nicolas Cage and the bear was.
oh, I'm gonna start that rumor now that actually happened.
Yes. Oh God, do it. Oh yeah, just put it out on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, it'll be on Wikipedia in 6 weeks. Um, I suppose I should in the same in the to balance things out a little bit. I should say that there are a few examples of very much more highbrow anthology pictures.
Hmm.
Um, which right, so there is one that's very well known, and there's one that's less well known. And the one that's very well known, to my discredit, I have not yet sat through, and I really must. It's a film called Kwaidan from 1964.
Why done? Yeah, got it. Got it on DVD. It's very
Yeah,
good.
Lafcadio Hearn short stories made into a 3 hour Japanese
Yeah,
ethereal, ghostly.
it's mesmerizing. It's really beautiful. I mean, it's really beautiful, and it's a lot. You know, it is very highbrow. You know, it's very artistic. Um, but it has the feeling and logic of a nightmare of dreams.
So I believe, but I say I have yet to. It's yet to make its way to the top of my pile, shall we say?
I was gifted it by a friend who is like ages ago, who's really in. He was a film student. You know, it was one of those. Watch that. We're studying that. It's really good. And I've got to
I
say,
believe
it's beautiful.
I mean,
Kwaidan's a really good example of beautiful horror.
it's the honest answer is that I haven't yet found the time to watch 3 hours
Yeah.
of Japanese horror in one go.
And that's the
Uh,
other thing, right? It's a commitment, and you do. It's one of those films where you do have to sit and watch it.
and I should make that time, but I haven't yet. The other one that I should mention is a film called Spirits of the Dead,
Don't know
um,
that one.
also known as Histoire Extraordinaire. And
Oh.
this is the epitome of art house portmanteau. Well, art house,
Ooh.
and it is really art house. This is Fellini, Louis
Oh,
Malle, and a third director. And I'm sure there are people listening to this right now who are screaming at
screaming at the screen as they
device,
do.
going, it's this guy, and I can't remember what his damn name is. Roger Vadim, of course, it's Roger Vadim. The handiness of Google. So that is it's a 3 story anthology based on Poe stories again.
Oh,
notable for the third segment, Toby Dammit, which is very, very good. It's a standalone movie, and this is very much like Three Extremes. It is just three movies that are put together, three short movies
stuck together. Yeah.
The only link being they're based on Poe stories.
Oh, so there's no sort of overarching or
there's no
device here. This is very much an anthology.
Oh well, no, hang on. Sorry, now I'm getting confused because I think there might be like a voiceover.
Oh right, okay.
It's been a while since I've seen Spirits of the Dead, so I apologise for not.
Again, one I'm going to seek out.
But yeah, it's definitely worth your time. The other one that's worth mentioning, of course, and I would be surprised if you haven't at least heard of this, if not seen it, is Mario Bava's Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah, Black Sabbath is ace. Black Sabbath, it's amazing. Again, it's pretty grim.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Italian horror, and
it's very. That means like there's lots of torture of women, lots of mutilation. It's a nasty piece of work. It's very good though.
Really, really creepy corpse dummy.
Yeah, very like uncanny valley corpse dummy. Yeah.
But again, it's an outstanding picture. It's one that's very good, but doesn't hold a personal place in my heart.
Yeah.
Which is why I can kind of say, yes, it's good, and I could say this is what's in it, but I don't have that kind of personal passion.
Yeah, it's sort of an historically significant picture, isn't it? It features a lot in, like, when people do their top 10 horror influences, it features a heck of a lot and stuff like that.
It is an outstanding movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing I love about Mario Bava is that he is one of those directors who just has nothing to work with. Like, he has no budget at all and makes astoundingly brilliant pictures.
Amazing filmmaker.
I mean, I always look at Planet of the Vampires, where again he's got nothing.
It is, and I know this. I know that I can look at this film and I can say it is objectively a very good film.
Mm-hmm.
And please don't take this the wrong way. I very much enjoy watching it.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's brilliant.
I would probably still choose to watch Torture Garden over it.
Yes.
that is the deepest insight you'll get into my psyche, I think. Torture Garden is, I think, widely considered to be the worst of the Amicus Portmanteau.
Right.
And yet I love it. I think it's fantastic. It does have the worst segment of any Portmanteau film ever.
Mm-hmm.
That is a scientific fact. That's not opinion.
That is objective, yes.
It's a segment called Mr. Steinway about a killer piano.
Brilliant. Mr. Steinway, are you kidding?
It's Robert Bloch. Robert Bloch wrote the short stories.
Oh, yes, because he wrote quite a few of the Amicus things, didn't he?
He wrote that, and he wrote some. He wrote The Skull.
Yeah, which is the Skull is awesome.
That was the Marquis de Sade, which they made.
I mean, the Skull is a fantastic fucking film. I love that film.
I believe Torch Garden is the only. Is it? I don't know. See, now I'm starting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm sure he did some of the others as well. Hang on, let me have a quick peek.
And Asylum are probably his as well.
Here we are. The House That Dripped Blood and Asylum were written by Robert Bloch, based upon his own stories.
I've embarrassed myself there.
Wow.
Good. Well,
there's only one. There's one exception from The House That Dripped Blood, which is Waxworks. That actually isn't Robert Bloch, but the rest is.
Right. Okay.
Interesting. The House That Dripped Blood is hilarious, by the way.
Steinway, I think, is absolutely terrible.
Conceptually, it sounds pretty bad.
Possessed killer piano called Euterpe, and it's just bad. It's a bad story. It's badly acted. It's just bad.
It sounds very silly.
Having said that, Torture Garden also has what I think is one of the best Amicus segments, which is the man who collected Poe, which is just fantastic. And going back again to big names in things. It's Jack Palance,
right? Okay.
Peter Cushing as rival collectors of Edgar Allan Poe memorabilia.
Oh, that already sounds really good.
Just so much fun. I love it. And of course, in the wraparound of Torture Garden, you have the mighty Burgess Meredith, the one and only Penguin.
Love him to bits. Is he being as big and silly as he normally is?
Oh, you have no idea until you've seen Torture Garden.
Is he gurning a lot?
It's remarkable that there is any scenery left by the end of the film. He plays Dr. Diablo.
No,
Yeah,
brilliant.
the proprietor of the Titular Torture Garden horror style exhibit.
Fantastic. I mean, the worst of it, if you catch Burgess Meredith in the right film on a good day, he can be really subtle and interesting and brilliant.
Yeah. This is not that film.
This is probably not that film, is it? This is him doing the Batman Penguin thing, yeah.
It's very much, but again, I love it. And it works.
Well, I mean, like any Burgess Meredith performance, no matter how big it is going to be amazing, isn't it?
The reason, and this seems to have been, the sub theme of this subgenre discussion is our shared love of Amicus movies, and I think there's something to recommend every Amicus movie.
Totally. I mean, and they get away with a lot as well, don't they? Just because of the fact that they are Amicus films, there's a sort of language that you need to understand in order to get, and there's a mindset to approach them with. And when you approach them with that mindset, they're all fun, they're all great. It doesn't really matter, if one is of lesser quality than the others.
Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. None of the 5 stories, really, to my mind, are particularly good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They're all very basic. It shows that this film was written by Milton Subotsky rather than written by Robert Bloch or adapted from the EC comics or the Chetwynd Hayes or what have you. It does show. But the wraparound is outstanding.
Yeah, I feel the same about Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, quite frankly. I mean, the individual stories are a bit silly sometimes.
They're very silly. Yeah.
The one about... the Donald Sutherland one, and I love. I mean, this is the kind of thing you will find throughout these stories. By the way, there's the bit where the guy, like, they're all trapped in the house by these plants that look like you could just walk through them. Quite frankly, and the guy lights his pipe near the window, and because of the flame, the plant sort of shies away, and then he gets the light bulb above his head, and it's like, fire! That's how we defeat these plants. And it's like, well, yeah. Or a hedge trimmer or something,
or just anything. It's a plant, for God's sake.
It's a plant, and they're quite flimsy, these things. They're not like the mutants from Day of the Triffids.
They're no Triffids. No, they're not even as threatening as Audrey 2.
They look like the kid who's could rip through them fairly handily. So.
The guy in question, of course, Bernard Lee, who achieved great fame as M, opposite various Bonds.
Right.
So yeah, that's silly. The werewolf segment's quite silly. The voodoo segment is played for comedy, starring.
Yes, that is the comedy part of the whole thing, isn't it? Yeah. Christopher Lee's one with the art critic in the hand. That's kind of fun, I suppose.
The disembodied hand, the amicus hand.
Yeah.
That was a hand that they had made for that film and then reoccurred in, I think, 3 other rounds.
Yeah.
You've got it now. We're going to use it.
Brilliance. Absolute brilliance.
That's not bad. Lee is great, obviously. Michael Gough is great.
I like Lee when he's playing, when he's playing being a bit of a twat.
Oh, he's an absolute dick in this film.
Yeah, he is. And he is, what I like about him is that he doesn't actually have, I mean, most of the time, Christopher Lee, even when he's being a bastard, has the authority that he pretends to. In this one, he doesn't. He's actually a complete prick, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Out and out. Yeah, he's justified. And then you've got the Donald Sutherland vampire segment, which is just stupid.
It's kind of dumb, isn't it?
The ridiculous line of it, there's not enough room in this town for 2 doctors or 2 vampires. But it's salvaged by Cushing on the train, and that whole thing is great.
Yep, absolutely. And the fact that it's them. It's those actors, isn't it? It just has cachet, doesn't it?
That lends it a weight that it didn't necessarily deserve. I mean, Torture Garden has the man who collected pie. Yeah, who collected segment. That's great. The Drip Blood is just a world of fun from beginning to end.
Oh, it's just insane fun, isn't it? I mean, it is absurd. The whole thing is pretty goddamn silly, but it is goddamn fun.
It's hugely fun.
Well, it pumps blood all over kids at a birthday party. It's really good.
It's just, from beginning to end, it's a joy. The Waxworks segment, I love. Peter Cushing and Joss Ackland having a cravat off. Who can wear the worst necktie?
Yes.
And as if you haven't had enough fun by the time you get to the final segment. Oh, look, it's John Pertwee.
It's John Pertwee, it is. Yeah, a couple of Doctor Who's. Tom Baker's in one of these as well. He's in one of the Portmanteau.
Yes.
Yeah. Two Doctor Who's. Well done, eh?
And a Doctor Who companion.
I mean, three if you count Cushing, obviously.
Cushing and Roy Castle.
Yeah, right.
So John Pertwee as again a ridiculously pretentious actor.
Yes.
Opposite Ingrid Pitt, who's glorious as ever. That's just fun. Asylum is genuinely creepy at times. Asylum's got the best wraparound story, except for From Beyond the Grave. Because you've got Jeffrey Balden, and Jeffrey Balden is just unhinged in that film. Spectacularly good. And the awful engravings. There's these engravings that hang the walls of the asylum that are just so creepy.
Yeah, I like that very much.
Tales from the Crypt has Poetic Justice, which is the segment that everybody knows with Peter Cushing being hounded out of his house.
Of course. I mean, and, Tales from the Crypt also, I mean, it has that comic book air about it, which I really like. And that allows it to get away with a lot as well.
And you've got Joan Collins, and that's iconic.
Yes, that's cool.
Segment. And one of 1,000 retellings of The Monkey's Paw.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of story is just made for one of the Portmanteau horrors, isn't it?
And then you've got Worlds of Horror, which, as you say, has Tom Baker.
Yep.
Probably the only decent story in that film.
Yeah, it's not a great film.
But the Tom Baker segment is at least fun.
Well, it's Tom Baker, and that gives it some credence.
It's Tom Baker being full Tom Baker. I want to buy voodoo. It's good.
Yes.
Just dip your hand into this pot, Tom Baker, and gifted the magic of voodoo. Again, culturally sensitive, maybe not, but yeah, it's a fun segment. And then From Beyond the Grave is,
which I think it is the last, and it's probably the best.
I would say definitely the best.
It's a genuinely good film. I mean, really smart horror. Often very funny in a gallows way. And I love the fourth wall break at the end. I love it when Peter Cushing invites you into the shop.
Yes. Well, then, again, you see that all over the place, It's at the end of Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, of course. The Crypt Keeper addresses you directly, doesn't he? So
who will be next? Perhaps you. Oh, I imagine that was probably quite creepy if you were 12 in 1970.
If you were 12 in the 1970s, yeah.
But I mean, I think you're probably getting the impression we've done this for like an hour and a half now. I could talk about these things all night.
Yeah, I do. I must admit, and you've kind of rekindled it. It's one of those loves that I know of these films. I've watched them a lot, but I didn't realize that I had the love for them that I do.
Yeah.
And having re-experienced them, I'm sort of I'm so all in. I'm going to watch hundreds of these now, hundreds of the bloody things.
And we've not even touched on things like Twilight Zone, the movie, for example.
Right.
Again, a movie that I like in places.
Yes, it's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag, and it's got there are problems that come with that film that are nothing to do with the finished film. I don't know whether you know about this, the John Landis segment, the first segment.
I have read about the controversy surrounding that segment. Yes.
Where people got killed.
Yeah. And quite frankly, nobody should ever be killed making a fucking film.
No, you're absolutely right. So it has to come with that caveat.
Yeah, definitely. It's a story that if you've got a strong stomach, I would go, it's interesting because it tells you a lot about how the industry operates, and there's a real pitilessness involved. It's an inhumanity involved. It's very.
And then I wasn't there. I don't know the absolute details, so I can't comment on it. But you're absolutely right. Nobody should die making a film.
No, there's a bottom line, right? Just absolute bottom line. No film is worth the loss of a human life. None.
from a viewing point of view, and again, it's a personal perspective, and I know a lot of people don't share it, but I rather like that segment. I think that segment worked well, as opposed to, say, the Steven Spielberg segment in that film, which is like swallowing a jar of treacle. It is so clearly sickly.
Yeah, that's when he was really on his family phase, wasn't it? Like, family is everything. Family will save it. Is the light of all creation, etc.
And then the other two are remakes of episodes from the show. I think Kick the Can was an episode from the show as well, actually. But It's a Good Life is a very famous Twilight Zone episode.
Yes, it is.
The 80s with big comic special effects, and it's all right. And Nightmare at 20,000 Feet.
There's something on the wing. He doesn't actually say that.
He doesn't actually say that.
No, it's the famous line that everybody knows that he never actually says.
But yeah, Lithgow makes a good showing of doing that.
Well, I mean, Lithgow, he elevates anything he's in, doesn't he?
I think so.
I love Lithgow in almost everything.
Yeah, that's a story that's now been made 3 times.
Yeah, right. It's become almost like a myth, hasn't it? I mean, again, the Simpsons did it, didn't they?
And the Simpsons have done it. Yes,
with the gremlin on the school bus. Yeah,
gremlin on the school bus. Yes, it was an original Twilight Zone story from, I believe, the 5th season of Twilight Zone.
It's a great concept, actually. I mean, thinking about it, it's an awesome concept.
And then it was done again for the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone 5-6 years ago.
Oh my! I've just had a little bit of a revelation. I did it in one of my short story collections.
You really?
And I didn't realise that I'd done it.
Everybody does this story.
They do. It's one of those stories. It's a myth. It will come up again and again and again, right?
Genuinely everywhere. Honestly, I guaranteed you now that when we finish this conversation, I'm going to spend the rest of the evening going, I should have mentioned that. I should have mentioned that.
It is one of those topics, isn't it? I guarantee, because I am going to go. Could you do me a favor, Steve? When we finish, could you send me just the 3 of the ones that you said you absolutely have to watch? Could you just send me their titles?
I will send you some details. So that is Dead of Night.
Dead of Night.
That is, for the record, that is Dead of Night from 1945, directed by Alberto Cavalcanti and various others. That is not Dead of Night from 1977, which is a TV movie, although still.
Right.
It's also not Dead of Night from 1974, which is a Bob Clark movie, also called Death Dream.
Okay.
It's a generic title. So Dead of Night, Southbound. I don't remember what the other one was, but it'll come back to me.
Brilliant. I'm so, again, this is going to be a minor obsession for a little while.
Oh, well, I think it should be a major obsession. It's a major obsession of mine. I literally have an entire bookcase that has nothing but portmanteau horror films on.
Well, it's very attractive, like I said before. I mean, I'm addicted to like the equivalent in written fiction. Like your short story collections. I think I love short story collections. Absolutely addicted to them.
That's why I do what I do for a living.
Yeah, right. Yes. By the way, guys, Black Shuck books. Go and check them out. It's like, if you want a cross section of what's happening in like small press indie horror, there's such good stuff out there. I mean, and the Black Shuck stuff is amazing.
I like to think that we do a decent job over here.
Yeah, the Voices collection.
Oh, Shadows.
Shadows. Oh my god, I love those books so much.
Is Kit's
Voices is Kids. That's what. Because you know what? That's why he was on my mind. Because we're normally doing Seasons of the Crow, aren't we?
We are. We're normally doing the Bernicky show, aren't we? So
we are. But yes, those books.
Thank you. I appreciate.
No, honestly, I mean, like, no, they are absolutely beautiful. I've got loads of them. I haven't got all of them yet because there's so many, but
there are. But for what started off as, well, why don't we do these 3 short stories as a paperback as well as an ebook?
Yeah.
And it was just going to be like 1 or 2 editions, and I've done 38 now.
Yeah, right.
And still going.
Right, they look gorgeous as well. I love the way, the covers, the symbolism of. I love that, the way they sort of give you an impression of what coheres the stories together, like what we're talking about. The Portmanteau horrors.
That does actually tie in rather nicely because I do all the design work for Black Shuck myself.
Right. Okay.
Every now and again we use commissioned artwork, but virtually all of it is my stuff that I've done myself. And much like the oft-mentioned Amicus, the reason that happened is because I can't afford to pay artists.
It's
I don't have very much money.
I would say it's worked out really well. I think they're very
I'm,
stylish and
I'm happy.
very intriguing, and I just love the look of them. I love the look of these books.
Thank you. I think it's I like to think it works in my favour that
Yeah, I think so.
whether you like the design style or not, you can look at one and go, that's probably a Black Shuck title.
Yes, and also, I mean, you can almost tell, like, I will like that collection because it appeal. You like the theme appeals to me. You know?
Oh well, that's good to know. I
Yeah.
do to kind of convey an idea with the Shadows books of um, what the stories are. Sort of.
Mhm.
It's difficult to do, obviously, with
Yeah, of course.
but you know, one tries.
I will.
Uh,
By the way, guys, I will leave a link to Black Shuck below where you can go and have a look at them all of their publications.
yes, do please come and fund my. I was about to say vanity project. Then it's not really a vanity
It's a
project.
bit big to be a vanity project these days, isn't it?
I've been doing it 10 years now as a
Yeah,
hobby.
it's a very long-lived vanity project.
It's
That
done
is. It's
beyond
worked out
me.
all right, hasn't it?
Yeah, I would say it's not the worst decision I've ever made in my
No,
life.
definitely not. Definitely not.
No
Um,
experience. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
no, of course. Before we do go, though, Steve, is there anything else that you'd like to pimp out there?
um, yes and no, which is to say that my flagship title every year, I suppose, is an anthology that I do every year,
Mhm.
which is under the title of Great British Horror,
Yes.
which is soon to be under the title of Something Peculiar on an ongoing annual basis.
Oh, okay.
So it's an annual anthology. It's 11 short stories each year. Um, by 11 different authors. I'm proud to say that 10 years in, we haven't used the same author twice.
Brilliance. Wow.
We are up to, because one story was co-written, so when this book
Mhm.
comes out, which will be hopefully the end of October, that will be 111 authors that have contributed to this series over 10 years. I'm quite proud.
Fantastic.
So yes, I would like to promote that. However,
Excellent.
that book hasn't been formally announced yet, so I
Oh,
can't tell you who's in it.
okay. No problem.
I know who's in it, I just can't tell you about it.
No probs.
So I suppose what I would say is if that sort of thing appeals to you, and by that sort of thing I mean well written, interesting, peculiar fiction by
Hmm.
a variety of voices. These are probably a good, if slightly pretentious way of putting it. Come to the Black Shark Books website. You'll find quite a lot of it there.
Excellent. Again, guys, links below. And I will, as a horror fan, I will heartily, heartily, heartily recommend it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, George.
Because it is one of my favorite things, to go and buy, especially the Shadows stuff. It's just the random anthologies, just random books. It's like, yep, and I guarantee I'll have a good time with them.
If what I so the idea very briefly behind the Shadows range was that it can be off-putting for a reader to have to spend 20-25 pounds on a collection of short stories by an author that maybe they're not very familiar with.
Yes.
And as such, I thought, well, what if we do a little pocketbook
Hmm.
of 3, 4, 5 stories, maybe? We'll sell it for a reasonable price. They retail for £5.99, and they're a sampler. They're a sampler of
Yeah.
authors, a particular author. Sorry. So you can spend what the price of maybe a couple of cups of coffee on one of these books.
Yes. That's the
And
beauty
if
of them,
you like
isn't it?
that
And
writer,
they give you
and if
such a
you like
good
that writer,
idea, not only
if
of
you like,
what the like that writer is about, but like what's going on out there, what is actually happening
yeah,
in like horror fiction at the moment.
yeah, and there are certain things, you do. Looking back, you can look at some of the titles and you can go, well, this was kind of suggestive of what was happening within the world of horror fiction at the time, and
Yeah,
hopefully continue to be the case as I'm not planning on ending the series anytime soon. I want to get to 50 at least, because
cool.
and then once I
That's
get there, you're like, well, we should probably push on a little bit more. I'm not going anywhere for a while. hopefully.
Good stuff. I'm very pleased. And again, guys, link below. Go and take a look, please.
Do please come and have a look. It's this, and I can say this without any kind of false modesty, because it's not my work. There are some outstanding stories.
Oh, yeah.
There's some outstanding fiction that I have been privileged enough to publish. I am deeply indebted to all of the people who have given me work for entrusting it to me.
Honestly, I love those books. I absolutely love those books, and there are some beautiful authors in that lot.
Come collect the whole set. They make a really
absolutely. Well, that's the other thing. They're very collectible, right?
And they look really nice all next to each other on a shelf.
I was about to say aesthetically, yes, they do.
Oh, well,
they really do.
That is one of the major touchstones of my design aesthetic, is that they need to look nice when you put them all together.
Yeah, they're very presentable, those books.
Good. That is what I was aiming for. Presentable. Presentable horror. I'm going to use that as my tagline from now on.
Presentable horror. That should be on the website, shouldn't it, really? Presentable horror. It sounds slightly like conservative and like Middle English, doesn't it? Presentable horror.
It might give the wrong impression.
Yes, for presentable people.
But no, I've been very fortunate to have worked with a lot of very talented writers.
Many of whom have featured around here.
One or two. I may have worked with a certain Power once or twice.
Kits, is that his name? Yeah.
I believe something
something like that, isn't it? You know.
Some foolish name.
Yeah, something like that.
Hi, Kit, if you're listening.
Yeah, hi.
We should talk Sons of Anarchy at some point. Anyway.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get back to it.
I have been very fortunate. Sorry, this has turned into a Academy Awards acceptance speech. I've been very fortunate to have worked with some incredibly talented authors, and hopefully will continue to do so for many years to come.
Yeah, that's, here. As for myself, guys, same as usual. You can find me knocking about Exaggerated Elegy. Currently doing a Let's Play of System Shock 2, which is one of my favourite sci-fi horror games. Hannibal Digested, in which myself and Jack Graham. I'm got to be careful, because there are characters in Hannibal. One of them's called Jack Crawford, and one of them's called Will Graham, and I keep getting all their names mixed up with my co-host. Yes, we actually we go through each episode of Hannibal, because alongside Twin Peaks: The Return, I think that is probably the best TV show ever made.
It's a good show. Definitely a good show.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. It just does it for me. I mean, part of it is my gayness, because I think it's hot. That's a huge part of it.
So on a scale of 1 to oh my god, how in love are you with Mads Mikkelsen?
Well, not to spoil the show or anything, but there's a scene towards the very end where basically I almost fell off my chair with the hotness. I mean, really, it was just insane. Yeah. 11, 12, maybe. Pushing it, yeah.
He's a good-looking man.
It's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Also, if you head over to Arrow Films, you will find a new release of the UHD set of In the Mouth of Madness, John Carpenter film. And I was very fortunate enough to record an extra for that. There is just a very, very short segment called We Are What He Writes, where myself and a couple of my friends give our thoughts on the film and on its themes and whatnot. And also there's a written essay in the insert booklet called God is Not a Hack Horror Writer, which is my deep dive into the themes of the film. As well as that, I will put links. Sorry, guys. Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't quite believe it. It's one of those weird. It's strange. It's very bizarre, and I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful to Neil Snowden and Jonathan Zarin for inviting me to do this. I really, it's made me very proud.
I love it, Madness.
It's one of my favorite films. I love it.
It is. And this is I appreciate this is heresy in the world we live in, but it is the best John Carpenter film in my my favourite John Carpenter film. It's one of the best.
I think it's superb. I mean, it's underrated. Let's put it that way. It's one of the most underrated John Carpenter films. That's for damn sure.
I absolutely adore it. I must pick
me too. If you're over there as well, check out the Hellraiser UHD and DV and Blu-ray sets, the Quartet of Torment, because both Kit and myself are on the Hellbound disc, and we're on that for an hour and 48 minutes. It's a good long chat, that is. It really is. It's about we talk about Hellraiser, we talk about Clive Barker, we talk about queer horror. We really get like right into the guts of this stuff, and it's a lot of fun. Links to all my published work over at strangeplaygrounds.com and over on the Evil Empire of Amazon. If you type in George Daniel Lee, you will find my Amazon author page. My ongoing non-fiction series, which I inherited from Kit. Actually, you may find the live stream we did hereabouts, where we basically Doctor Who morph into one another. Literally, it took me fucking hours to do, so go and watch it. Yes, My Life in Horror, that's ongoing. There's a couple of new articles coming out very, very soon, which pretty deep dives, I've got to say. It took me a while to get those written, so go read them. And you can find me over at Blue Sky at Exaggerated Elegy. And I think that's it for me for now. That's enough for now. Steve, this has been great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's not often that I get to talk for such an extended period of time on such a adored subject of mine.
Well, I can only say if you want to come back, if you are more than welcome. If you can think of if you want to continue talking about Portmanteau horror, or if you'd like to, if there's anything else.
If the opportunity arises to do a sequel episode at any point, and you want to talk about anthology horror television, because the bookcase next to my anthology horror films is my anthology horror television series.
Yes.
We'll do that at some point.
Absolutely, totally in. So, I'm totally up for that. I'm going to put a pin in that one because I think that's a brilliant idea. Guys.
We'll give people a little bit of a chance to recover from this. Darkness first, shall we?
Yeah, let's give them a breather. Yeah, and then we'll come back.
On these films, ladies and gentlemen.
Steve, thank you, man. Until next time, guys. Bye.